She stuck her arm through a car window crack and opened the door from outside while the car was moving. She tumbled onto a New York street and ran. Years later, she'd believed the driver was Ted Bundy, and that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened to her. It's 1978. Jimmy Carter's in the White House. Gas costs 65 cents, but you're waiting in line for hours. Grease is the biggest movie. Disco dominates the radio, but in New York's gritty underground, punk is evolving into new wave. A 33-year-old woman with platinum blonde hair is about to record Heart of Glass. She's ancient by pop standards. She's already survived a predator's car, a violent home invasion, 9 months as a Playboy Bunny, and being rejected twice by her birth mother. Her name is Debbie Harry. She has no idea she's about to become the biggest pop star in the world. Truth number 1. The Predator's car. Early 1970s. Debbie's crossing Manhattan in platform shoes. Her feet are killing her. Broken glass everywhere. No cabs. A white car pulls up. Good-looking driver. Curly dark hair. White shirt. Very persistent. It's only a couple blocks. She gets in. Immediately something's wrong. Boiling hot. Windows won't roll down. Then she sees it. No door handle inside. No window crank. No radio. No glove compartment. The interior's been completely stripped, and this guy smells terrible. She's trapped. She stays calm, slowly works the window down inch by inch, gets her arm out, reaches for the outside handle. He sees what she's doing and guns the engine, trying to throw her back. The momentum works in her favor. The door flies open and she tumbles into the street. She brushes herself off and keeps going. Just another night in 1970s New York. She's on a plane reading about Ted Bundy's execution. The article describes his methods: stripped car interiors to trap victims, the timeline, the location, the description. She thinks, oh my god, it was him. Fact checkers dispute this. Bundy's documented timeline doesn't place him in New York then. His car was a Volkswagen Beetle, not a stripped white car. But Debbie's maintained this story for over 30 years. She points out Bundy escaped twice and traveled more than documented. Whether it was Bundy or another predator, the truth is this: she got into a car designed to trap victims and escape through quick thinking and courage. Before we continue, if you're enjoying these shocking truths about Debbie Harry, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got some more truths coming that are even crazier. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. Truth number 2. The name confusion. Late 1970s. Blondie gets famous and something weird happens. Everyone thinks Blondie is Debbie's name. Fans call her Blondie. DJs say, here's Blondie, showing only her picture. The rest of the band is invisible. They have to issue an official press release. Her name is Deborah Harry. Blondie is the band. They even wear pins that say, Blondie is a band. Why the confusion? She's the face on every cover. The name fits a blonde singer. The band got their name from catcalls. Hey, Blondie. And labels marketed her, not the collaborative band. Chris Stein co-wrote most songs but got no credit. The other members felt like backup. When they broke up in 1982, this imbalance was part of why. Debbie later described Blondie as a character she played, separate from Deborah Harry the person. The confusion never went away. It created their success and their biggest problem. Truth number 3. The Playboy Bunny. 1968 to 1969. Before punk icon status, Debbie spent 9 months as a Playboy Bunny in New Jersey. Bunny ears, corseted outfit, serving drinks. Seems contradictory for a feminist icon, right? But as she told BBC Radio, the economy was shit. I needed to make money. Here's the twist. In the book The Bunny Years, Debbie revealed working at Playboy was actually safer than waitressing. Strict rules protected employees. Customers who got out of line lost their membership. Management backed the women up. At Max's Kansas City, she dealt with constant harassment with zero protection. When asked about the costume, I like to dress up so it didn't really bother me. Classic Debbie. She made her choices on her terms and never apologized. She used the money to support herself while figuring out music. By 1973, she met Chris Stein. By 1974, they formed Blondie. By 1978, she was the most famous woman in rock. Her Playboy past doesn't contradict her feminist icon status. It proves it. Truth number 4. Double rejection. Born Angela Trimble, 1945, Miami. Her conception, an extramarital affair. Her birth mother, a concert pianist, gave her up at 3 months old. Adopted by Richard and Catherine Harry, raised in New Jersey. Age 4. She learns she's adopted. It creates a wound that never heals. As she told the Daily Mail, my deep-rooted fear has always been abandonment. It's always been scary for me to see people leave. In her memoir, somewhere in my subconscious, a scene was playing on a loop of a parent leaving me somewhere and never coming back. As a child, she daydreamed Marilyn Monroe was her real mother. Years later, after becoming famous, she hires a detective. He finds her birth mother, the concert pianist. That creative lineage confirmed. Debbie reaches out. Her birth mother doesn't want a relationship. Think about that. Your daughter becomes one of the most famous women in the world. She's reaching out, and you say no. Debbie lets it go. This fear shaped everything: her relationships, her art, her ability to trust. She never married, never had children. Even with Chris, she was always waiting for abandonment. When they broke up in 1987 after 15 years, it must have felt like the abandonment she'd been bracing for her whole life. But they stayed friends. They're still in each other's lives today. They didn't fully abandon each other. We're halfway through, and I want to hear from you. Which of these truths shocked you the most so far? Drop a comment below. And stick around because the next 3 truths get even darker. Truth number 5 started at 33. The Math, born 1945, Parallel Lines released in 1978. She was 33 when Heart of Glass made her a superstar. By 34, she was one of the most famous women on the planet. In pop music, this is ancient. Most stars hit big in their 20s. By 30, they're past their prime. But Debbie hadn't even started yet. Her journey: late 1960s folk band that flopped, secretary, waitress, Playboy Bunny, go-go dancer. Early 70s substance struggles. 1972, this go nowhere. 1973, meets Chris. 1974, forms Blondie. 1976, first album flops. 1977, minor overseas success. 1978, finally breakthrough. 14 years of paying dues, struggling, failing, watching younger artists get famous. Most people would quit. Debbie kept going. The advantage: at 33, she was mature enough to handle fame. She'd lived, suffered, survived. She knew who she was. She'd been enough that success didn't spoil her, knocked down enough that she could handle criticism. When fame came, she didn't spiral. She was professional. She appreciated it because she knew it could disappear. In an industry that tells women they're worthless after 25, Debbie became a legend at 33. Truth number 6, she quit everything for Chris. Blondies at their peak. Over 40 million albums sold. 6 #1 singles. Arena tours. Millions rolling in. Then guitarist Chris Stein gets sick. Really sick. Dropping weight to 110 pounds. Covered in blisters. Can barely swallow. Doctors run tests. Cancer? AIDS? Nobody knows. Chris thinks he's dying. Debbie makes her choice. We're done. The band is over. November 1st, 1982. Blondie breaks up. The press speculates drugs, ego, infighting. The real reason? Debbie chose to save Chris instead of chase fame. Diagnosis: pemphigus vulgaris. Rare, potentially fatal autoimmune disease. He needs intensive treatment. Months hospitalized. Debbie becomes his full-time caregiver. Like many in the 70s and 80s New York scene, both struggled with substance abuse. Years later, they'd be open about it as a cautionary tale. During hospitalization, those struggles continued. Slowly, Chris recovers. Takes years. Meanwhile, disaster strikes. Their business manager steals from them, taxes unpaid, the IRS seizes everything. House, savings, possessions, everything earned during Blondie's peak is gone. Debbie tries solo albums. Nothing hits. Takes acting gigs to pay bills. By the mid-1980s, she's broke and exhausted. 5 years after breakup, Debbie and Chris end their romance. 15 years together through poverty, fame, violence, illness. Done. But they never stopped being friends. Never stopped working together. They reunite Blondie. 1999. Maria hits #1 in 14 countries. Their 6th UK #1. Against all odds, they did it again. Today, Chris is healthy, successful photographer and musician. 2 daughters, Debbie's their godmother. She gave up everything at her peak to save him. Lost it all. Built it back from scratch. Truth number 7. The home invasion. Mid-1970s, Debbie and Chris return home from a gig. Rough New York neighborhood. They unlock their door. An armed intruder forces his way inside, overpowers them, ties Chris up, ransacks the apartment for drugs and valuables. Then the intruder sexually assaulted Debbie while Chris was restrained, forced to witness, helpless. After the attack, the intruder takes his time gathering their guitars, Chris's camera, their equipment, then leaves. They don't report it, don't seek counseling, just move on. That's what you did in 1970s New York. Years later, Debbie opens up. She says something that stuns people. Losing the guitars hurt more than the attack itself. Why? The guitars were their livelihood. Without instruments, they couldn't work, couldn't eat, couldn't pay rent. When a Guardian reporter suggests she's downplaying to protect herself psychologically, Debbie agrees. Yeah, absolutely. This wasn't minimizing violence. This was a woman who'd survived so much trauma. Abduction, abuse, poverty, addiction, abandonment. She'd developed compartmentalization as survival. In 1970s New York, reporting meant reliving trauma with skeptical cops who blamed victims. For struggling musicians barely surviving, the practical reality was stark. No instruments meant no survival. She made a choice: keep moving forward, stay alive, make music, don't let this destroy everything. When she shared this decades later, some criticized her response. But trauma survivors understood. She was showing her coping mechanism, one that kept her functioning through unimaginable circumstances. As she explained, "It wasn't a happy moment in my life, but I couldn't let it destroy me." She focused on what she could control, replacing guitars, continuing music. That was manageable. The psychological wound was too big to process then. Within years of this attack, Debbie Harry was on magazine covers worldwide, singing Heart of Glass in sold-out arenas, becoming one of music's most iconic women. Not despite what happened, but perhaps because of the survival instinct it revealed. The refusal to be destroyed, the determination to keep creating, the ability to transform pain into art. These 7 truths reveal the real Debbie Harry, a survivor who escaped a predator's car, navigated fame's identity crisis, worked controversial jobs on her terms, carried abandonment wounds, started when others said she was too old, sacrificed everything for love, and rebuilt after unimaginable trauma. She survived by refusing to be broken. She succeeded by refusing to quit. She inspired by refusing to apologize for being exactly who she needed to be. She's Debbie Harry, and after these 7 truths, you'll never see her or hear Heart of Glass the same way again. If these 7 truths changed how you see Debbie Harry, smash that like button. Subscribe for more untold stories about music legends, and drop a comment. Which truth shocked you the most? I'll see you in the next one.